The Age of Reason, a golden age. The 18th century in England is generally regarded as a golden age, and it was called Augustan after the period of Roman history which had achieved political stability and power as well as a flourishing of the arts. It was an important moment in the making of modern England, thanks to cultural innovation and public debate. There was a deliberate rejection of extremism in all its forms: superstition, fanaticism, verbal violence. The virtues of politeness, moderation, and rationality were commonly praised. The third Earl of Shaftesbury was the philosopher of politeness. In his work, Characteristics of Man, Manners, Opinions, Times, he claimed that man has an innate sense of what is right and wrong, and that virtue lies in good breeding, learning correct social behavior from childhood. The Spectator, a newspaper founded by Joseph Addison, made politeness fashionable with its mixture of news, literature, conversation, and moral exhortation. Civility and moderation. The art of pleasing, that is, civility and moderation, became the 18th century ideal. Morality and fashion demanded simplicity and emotional authenticity. This influenced the merging of the figure of the gentleman. However, there was also a counterculture which developed a taste for manly sports such as boxing, racing, and fox hunting, which became important in rural social life. There was a growing tendency towards material gain, individual happiness, and pleasure as the main objectives of life. The role of women. English women were more independently active in social and cultural life than women on the continent. They visited friends, attended the theaters and coffee houses where they were previously banned. Some began a writing career, like Aphra Behn, who was a pioneer, playwright and novelist, one of the first professional women writers. Women readers and writers influenced the rise of the novel as the most distinctive literary genre of the period. They did not want to read stories about heroes of the past, but about ordinary people of their day. Many early novels were epistolary. This reflected the craze for letter writing as a consequence of the London Penny Post, a new, cheap, and efficient postal service created in 1680. Access to books increased with the spread of circulating libraries and book clubs, as well as with the reduction of book prices. A new view of the natural world. Enlightened thinkers not only wanted to understand the world, but to improve it. They rejected the Calvinist belief that every event of life is controlled by God or the devil. A new, optimistic view of the natural world saw it as benign and beautiful rather than decayed and corrupted by sin. Nature meant human nature and the physical environment, but it also extended to the universe beyond the earth. It was seen as the complex system or set of principles divinely ordained and manifested in the creation. The response to nature changed, it became emotional and moral. There was a new taste for landscape paintings, which came to be regarded as a typically English genre. This rational age aimed at improving nature as it did with the human society. The English garden was invented, a carefully planned space that expressed values such as freedom, simplicity, and balance. English gardens were copied all over Europe, from Versailles to St. Petersburg. The common and uncultivated lands were enclosed and improved so that the English landscape began to take its modern form as a huge commercialized garden where the principles of the Enlightenment were in practice. The harmony between man and nature, as well as the hierarchical organization of gentry estates and tenant farms. Explorations. The new optimism and the belief that reason could improve society and discover new horizons encouraged exploration. Voyages to new lands were commissioned to Captain Cook by the Royal Society, which led to the encounter with the native peoples uncorrupted by civilization and to the mapping of Australia, New Zealand, and the Hawaiian Islands.